Some of you guessed that my last post about adoption was in regards to Catelynn and Tyler from Teen Mom. I have wanted to speak on this topic for a very long time, but I did not want to come across as unsympathetic to their situation. However, I have also gone through adoption and had other children outside of the child that I gave up for adoption. And I think that the dynamic that Catelynn and Tyler have as it relates to Carly is very unhealthy, especially as it relates to the 3 children that they currently have in their home, that they are in fact parenting. They are not parenting Carly. Carly is being parented and raised by Brandon and Teresa. And this idea that Catelynn and Tyler have put into their other 3 children's minds that Carly is their sister, and getting these children emotionally invested into Carly is very unhealthy and very dangerous, because they are preparing these children for a relationship with Carly that they don't know that Carly actually wants to have with them. I understand that when Catelynn and Tyler were very young and they put their child up for adoption, they were in a situation where I was, very much in. Even though my mom was an addict, an alcoholic, I still chose to give my mom adoptive privileges because her alcoholism, in my mind, was less dangerous than the things that I was doing. And also because I was only 16. I felt ill-equipped as a 16-year-old who was currently medicating through drugs and alcohol. At that point in time, my mom was only drinking that I knew of. So she was the lesser of 2 evils. However, Catelynn and Tyler did not give their children to either one of their parents. From my understanding, I don't think that Tyler's mom wanted them to keep Carly. And I do think that Catelyn's mom wanted Catelynn to keep Carly. But both Butch and Catelyn's mom, I can't remember her name, maybe Teresa, they were heavily into using drugs and alcohol. So Catelynn and Tyler chose a different family because they felt like that would be what was best suited for Carly. And even though they have remained together all this time, does not mean that Catelynn and Tyler are in a healthy, loving marriage that is conducive to raising any of the children that they have in a healthy and stable way. Their relationship is incredibly toxic, and unfortunately for them, Brandon and Teresa are more emotionally healthy and stable than Catelynn and Tyler are. They do not seem to have been able to come to acceptance with the decision that they made, and they feel entitled to parent Carly, even though Carly is 16 years old and has been living with another family for the last 16 years, being parented the way that that family that they chooses to raise Carly and her brother. They also feel entitled to call Carly their daughter or call Carly their children's sister, and I think that that is so damaging because these children are so young that they don't understand what is actually happening. They think in their mind that Brandon and Teresa stole Carly away from Catelynn and Tyler, and that's not what happened. This emotional tug of war that Catelynn and Tyler have been on for as long as they have been on it, they need to find some acceptance and they need to come to terms with the decision that they made and realize that even though they want a relationship with her and they think that that's what's best for her, it's not their decision to make. It is Brandon and Teresa's decision to make. And they continue to break boundaries over and over and over again. For the last 16 years, they have broken boundaries, and they have not deserved to have a relationship with Carly. Brandon and Teresa have swallowed their pride, and they have continued to allow visits until they stopped, because they had finally gotten to a point where they could no longer allow them to continue to walk across these boundaries that they had made. I am so empathetic to Catelynn and Tyler, but Carly is not their daughter anymore. And they have to recognize that they made this decision. Even though they were only 16, they still made the decision to do what they did. And in order to move forward, they need to come to acceptance that there's nothing that they can do to change that decision, except that Brandon and Teresa are their parents, and when and if Carly does want a relationship with them, which I don't think she's ever going to, because of the behaviors that they've shown, because of the things that they do online, that it will be Carly's choice to make. And they have to accept that either way it goes, whether she wants a relationship or if she doesn't, that they are not in her life. Because they have been holding on to this storyline for 16 years, and it is unhealthy for them, and it is unhealthy for everyone involved, including the 3 children that they currently have at home that need them to be there emotionally for them and taking care of their emotional needs, and not feeling like the children have to emotionally cater to their parents because their parents are struggling with the fact that they gave a child up for adoption 16 years ago. Like, come on. That is too heavy for children to carry. You are the adult. Get some emotional maturity and handle the situation as an adult. Separate yourself from the situation and allow everyone to heal, including yourself. I hope that didn't sound unsympathetic, because I am sympathetic and empathetic to both Catelynn and Tyler, but her parents are Brandon and Teresa, and they have every right to decide if they want to allow visitation with Catelynn and Tyler with Carly or not. And the fact that they have finally said no means that they have been pushed and pushed to the limit that they can no longer allow these people to continue to come in her life. And I know that that was a hard decision for them to make. They did not come to that decision easily, because both Brandon and Teresa have tried to give Catelynn and Tyler the benefit of the doubt for the last 16 years. I can't wait to hear what you think in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.